What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my hip hop review. Yeah, this is actually going to be a very special episode and whatnot. Give me one quick sec. And the reason why it's going to be a very special episode because it's actually going to be like a part two of my review on Bulletproof Wallets by Ghostface Killah, released in 2001. I had recently have done a review with Ashley with this one. Shout out to Ashley, by the way. And if you guys have watched my review, you guys should know that the original copy of this album was shelved and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because sample clearances and Jesus, sample clearances and whatnot. It's going through like a lot of shit. So yeah, man. So before I get started, let me just give you like a brief history of Bulletproof Wallets. So Bulletproof Wallace was the third studio album from Ghostface Killah. This was released 1 year after Supreme Clientele, which was the sophomore album and shit like that. It was a sophomore album and stuff like that. Very dope. A lot of people have said that's a lot of people have said like that's like Ghostface's best album, and I'm not gonna argue with people about that because I'm not gonna argue with people about that because a lot of people have said that, and that album is fire too. The album is fire too and shit like that. But with that being said, I've always felt that when it came to strong Ghostface albums, I don't know, Iron Man is definitely like up there. And shit. It'll probably be Iron Man, then Supreme Clientele, and I will maybe say Fish Scale, but it's kind of hard for me when it comes to Ghostface and shit like that. So yeah, very hard for me. But yeah, so pretty much the reason. So originally, this album was originally supposed to have like a different sound and stuff like that because it was supposed to have been like a lot. It was like a lot more soulful than the retail version, and a lot more popular songs like the Watch, and like there's the original version of Flowers and whatnot, which I want to talk about that in a minute. And so they had some some sample clearance issues that they had to go by. Had some sample clearance issues, and they had to like tell Ghostface. He was under Epic Records around that time. They had to tell Ghostface to like reduce some of his songs and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Reduce some of his songs to avoid the sample clearances. So, as Ghost reduced some of the songs. Certain songs came out on the retail version. Certain songs came out on the retail version, kind of sound like the way it is, sound like some generic. I don't even want to say generic, but like some stuff that you would definitely have heard from that early 2000s at that time too and shit like that. So yeah, man. And there was an interview, he had done. He talked about this whole shit right here. So yeah, man, this is pretty much like me talking about the unreleased old original tracks that was supposed to have been on Bulletproof Wallets and stuff like excuse me and stuff like that. So yeah, man, this is. I'm not gonna talk about all of the songs because I've talked about the majority of the songs on my review. I'm just gonna talk about the certain songs I felt like deserves mention and shit like that because yeah, man, this album is just so good. Like the original version is just so cohesive and shit. So we're gonna first off talk about the Sun. This song features Raekwon, RZA, and Slick Rick. Yeah, man, this shit right here, the Sun. Fuck. This shit right here is definitely a dope track right here. It's pretty much my favorite song off this. It's pretty much like my favorite song off this album. You know, just a nice way to begin the day. This song pretty much got some play. I think it got some play like by a lot of New York station at that time too, because it was a popular song that got leaked early and shit. In my opinion, mm, I want to say Ghostface and Slick Rick had like the best verse on this track right here. Some lines I like from Ghostface was last night I wrote 3 rhymes. I woke up and see the sunshine. If God is my witness and scriptures and pictures, the sun kiss scrumptious, sun is nutritious. It makes you wanna climb. Take a bite out of the shine. This little light of mine. And the way that they have that chorus, Ghost and Slick Rick, doing at the chorus. Look who's shining again. Oh my. We've been rhyming again. Oh my. Like, a nod to Slick Rick's Hey Young World. And even though Slick Rick, his verse is kind of shorter, it's kind of like short compared to Raekwon and Ghost. He still has some dope shit. He says, isn't it cool how it spreads joy, hunts lay in it, and it's hard to go back to one when your lunch break's finished. Strap hang before, so it's effective as support. Feeling the warm sun rays upon your back as you walk. Like, just vintage Slick Rick right there. So that's like one of my favorite Slick Rick guest appearances on anything he's done and shit. And that beat is just way too ill. That beat's way too ill and shit like that. So, yeah, man. All right, so next track, I want to talk about the original version of Flowers, which I pretty much prefer this version of Flowers over the retail version, because I said like the retail version, the club beat kind of, that one was kind of but the original version just has that more dark beat kind of shit like that. So I want to make a note of that. The fucking watch with Raekwon and shit like that. Them spitting over that Barry White sample. Ah, man, this shit right here is so clean. This was one of the songs I really wish was on this version of the album and stuff. It's kind of crazy because I think Nas used that sample, and that track was originally supposed to have been on the Lost Tapes as well too. I mean, that was originally supposed to have been on the I Am album, but the story with the whole Lost Tapes, Nostradamus. Y'all know that whole story. I'm not gonna get into that, but yeah, man, very dope track. Love the way they were flowing on that shit right here. Yeah, very dope track right here. Then we get into, let's see. I think the last track I want to talk about is Good Times featuring Superb and Raekwon. This track is pretty much them rapping over the Good Times theme song, and shit like that. Ain't we lucky we got him? Like, y'all know about a Good Times theme song and shit like that. So it's pretty much them rapping over that. Yeah, pretty dope shit right here. Pretty dope shit. Ain't nothing to it. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about that. I love the OG version of this. I just felt like it's not really that much of a difference, besides like the better production and shit like that. But it's just a lot more sequencing is a lot more better, a lot more cohesive and shit like that. And like I mentioned, like I'm pretty much one of the few Wu heads that don't really have a problem with Bulletproof wallets, because I think now it has like a cult following now, but a lot of people at that time was not really, they liked it, but they would kind of like put it back by like the R&B sound and shit like that. But like I mentioned before, Ghostface, he's always known for that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. And yeah, this month, stay tuned, because I'm gonna be talking about Wu-Tang's A Better Tomorrow. So stay tuned on that one. And that's all the time I have for this album. Stay tuned for more. Click that subscribe button. Peace.